All right. Well, you're welcome to sit in on another edition of
History Strikes Back.
All right. Well, this is History Strikes Back for, I don't know how I'm going to recover from that. That was awful. Terrible. Anyway, as was explained in the opening disclaimer, it's not
so much to prove that you're dumb.
It's not to show how dumb I am. It's just to prove whether or not I'm actually listening, whether or not I'm paying attention to the history I am learning.
Even the experts get to continue to learn. I mean, you're not. If you are not learning, then you're dead.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Yeah, and we're not calling it Stump the Expert anymore, so.
Well, there you go.
That's probably for good reason. History Strikes Back from January 12th. I pulled out some things. This is where I pull out some things independently. I've been writing a blog for the last 2-3 years, I guess. Off and on.
Off and on,
yeah.
Yes.
Taking a sabbatical. But
slight sabbatical. I've been reposting, dear.
But if you go to nottolateshow.com, and you can, if you're not interested in listening to the podcast or viewing the podcast, I have some or reading book reviews. I have some material on there that's called Hank's Hysterical Revisions. And I cover a particular day in history and discuss something I try to find things that are relatively unknown or little known. Let's see, where is it here? Okay, for January 12th, one of the more significant ones, probably the ones that you will see for this day, is 1969. Super Bowl III is the Jets won 16-7, and there was a very significant quarterback that played in that game. Do you know who that was, Marco Polo?
Yes, that was Joe Namath. I don't know if he was Italian or not, but he looked Italian, so let's go with that. He looked Italian, so he Mr. Italian.
In 532 A.D., there was the Nika insurrection, which I think had something to do with the Emperor Justinian, and roughly 30,000 people burning to death in a stadium.
Aww, that's tragic.
In 1802, Thomas Jefferson was president, and he made a speech to the Wea, I guess how you say it, the Potawatomi and the Miamis. And there is a book called Indian Agriculture in America by R. Douglas Hurt. That was where I was able to actually confirm that he did make that speech at that time. It was a time when he in the speech he actually exhorts the Native Americans to take up agriculture as opposed to hunting. It takes up less space for one thing, and also for another thing, it's also not quite so savage. So
well, that's convenient.
Yeah. I know.
Lack of savagery is good.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure if I were a Wea Potawatomi or a Miami, how I would.
Is that Potawatomi?
Potawatomi. I don't know how I would.
Texas way of saying it, Potawatomi.
I don't know how I would receive that. I don't know what to make of that, or if something would get lost in the translation. And then in 1839, the Cherokees arrive in Oklahoma, courtesy of Andrew Jackson. Some other things I pulled. I've also have some more things here from HistoryOrb.com. Last week we actually found a couple of errors and
yes,
and they just happened to be in the ones that I found. So let's see how we do.
And
this
of
week.
course, it gave us an opportunity to make fun of someone else at their expense.
Yeah.
See, you're not the only person that's not perfect.
Can't get it right all the time, right? Yeah. Something as gray as history is sometimes. It can be very gray. It can be very concrete as well.
Right.
I mean, there are some things that are absolute and some things that...
And something is like the difference between one word and one,
Yes, exactly. And that's
was she elected or did she move into the position?
Exactly. And that's what I try to help people with by having this show is, kind of help set the record straight and help people independently, search independently and research independently and look in places other than Wikipedia.
Hey, it's not completely bad. You know, my daughter dragged me up for that.
I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, yeah, you're not saying anything at all. Yeah, sure. Okay, no hint, no nudge, wink, wink.
On the 12th of January, 1966, Batman premiered on ABC TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
At the one with Adam West?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, that's correct. More television. We have 1971, All in the Family premiered on CBS with the first toilet flush.
What? Okay, so that's
what it says here.
That's the significance is the toilet flush, not All in the Family. There was a toilet flush on TV, y'all.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of the show, the toilet flush.
The toilet flush.
I think that the Archie Bunker should have flushed himself down the toilet. That would have been even better. I think Ethel, whatever her name was, the wife. Thinking I Love a Lucy. I don't know her name. Edith, yeah. What did the same letter? There you go. Very good. Yeah, there goes Archie Bunker. Bye, Archie, boy.
Somebody just walked out with a lavalier on still.
I think there goes Jeff, and he's looking a little blue on the.
Yeah. In 1933, the U.S. Congress recognized the independence of the Philippines. Some of y'all might remember from the old show format that I was reading a book about the Philippines. I'm still reading it.
You still working on that one?
It's a little long. But if you go to my Twitter, which I mentioned earlier, you can maybe find some of my Amazon updates regarding the books that I'm reading. I like this one, 1932, France's Laval government fails. That's all it says. France's Laval government fails.
Government fails.
So typical of France, isn't it?
No, but of course, yeah. All those croissants. They don't know what they're doing.
Finland, in 1918, Finland's Mosaic Confessors Law, West went into effect, making Finnish Jews full citizens. I guess that's something to be proud of in 1918. I guess it's some of the Jew bashing is still going on. Where is it? 1906, Football Rules Committee legalizes the forward pass. And then, this is of historical significance, since this is just over 20 years old. In 1991, the U.S. Congress gave George Bush the authority to wage war against Iraq.
He said, read my lips and no new taxes. Whatever.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be prudent.
Yeah, that was an oopsie.
Yeah. He did not like a broccoli either, from what I understand.
Is broccoli a particularly Italian sort of dish?
No, not really.
It just sounds Italian.
When I say it, it sounds Italian, yes.
Yeah.
Did you bring broccoli back from China?
Yeah, I always do. Yeah, every trip I make, I always bring it back.
So are you the one responsible for pizza?
Absolutely.
All right. I knew I loved you, man.
Marco Polo pizza.
That's it.
It is the number one in the world.
Yeah, I heard it came from China and was brought to. Yeah, that's cool. Man after my own heart.
All right, and then unfortunately, where was it? No. All right, I didn't research a whole lot of these, so you're gonna hear them for the first time coming out of my mouth. And Austria's worst avalanche kills 200. That's pleasant, isn't it? 1954, and then in 1963, Steve Lawrence's "Go Away, Little Girl" peaked at number 1.
Go away. Okay.
Have you ever heard that song?
I don't know that I've heard that song.
Oh my gosh!
I think I've heard that song. I also know that Donny Osmond, he's singing that song in the early 70s.
Really?
Really?
Indeed. And you can go to Wikipedia, the Wikipedia, whatever you call it. You can look it up there.
Yeah.
See, I was knee-high to a cricket, so all I remember is some cute guy wiggling around in a leather jacket or something.
Very good.
TMI.
What?
I don't know. I just remember it as being a very cheesy song. I think the first time I heard it, I was probably like 5 years old, and I laughed. Go away, little girl.
There we go. Jeff the sound man. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Go away, little girl.
Okay, and in
I vaguely remember that, actually.
here's another France one. In 1860, France decrees Bonaparte family excluded from the country forever. Boy, France just does it over and over again to themselves, don't they? I mean,
Yes.
in the U.S., we
And they wonder why we make so much fun of them.
well, in the U.S., we have somebody that kind of does some things wrong. That can.
We do, yeah.
Yeah, we say,
No
"Hey,
names mentioned."
You can stay. It's okay. It's all right. You don't have to. I'm not going to put you on an island somewhere. I mean, what better thing than to be exiled to an island? I mean, I think that would be great.
Well,
I
it
mean,
depends on the island and what's on the island. Would you want to be on an island that's filled with spiders and snakes? I wouldn't.
well, I don't know. Might be better than driving in traffic every day.
Well, that's a matter of opinion. I don't know. At least driving in traffic every day, you got your cell phone, you got your radio, and you got, just as long as you got air conditioning, you're golden.
All at the same time, yes.
Yes.
Using all three at the same time. In 1896, the first X-ray photo in the U.S. was made by Dr. Henry Smith in Davidson, North Carolina.
Oh, cool.
And then, and one more, 1875, Kwang Su becomes Emperor of China.
Very good.
Wait a minute, what happened to Marco Polo? He's been replaced. All right, that concludes this edition of History Strikes Back. And that's what I have now. Kerry, did you want to say a word or two about where we can be found and in what capacity?
Well, I guess just to review what I said before, if you're watching us now, then you're either watching us on youtube.com or you're watching us at nottoolateshow.com. Listening. Oh my goodness, I'm still in that habit. Either nottoolateshow.com or what's the other place you're listening to us on? TFOK. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and any other various means of places.
Thanks very much. Good night.